Hey guys, what's up? It's Trunks and welcome to Clash of Saiyans. On today's episode, we are going to be taking a look at Town Hall 9 and I'm going to be bringing you guys 6 different attack styles. I'm going to try to give you a quick overview of how each of them are. I have additional videos on some of these if you want to check them out. But first up, let's take a look at the Witch Slap. This is one of the most popular attacks in the game right now as it's very easy to do. There's a couple variations of it. Sometimes you will have two groups of witches going down the sides of the bases. You're going to put some healers on them, and they will basically walk the outside of the bases, trimming the outside lanes. Other times, you can take your queen, if you can find an easy queen walk, get her to go up one side of the base, and then have the second group on the bottom side of the base of the opposite side of your witches with the healers on them. And then usually down the middle, you're going to bring some type of tank, whether it's giants or golems out in front. Then you're going to bring your Barb King, your remaining witches, and then have Clan Castle Bowlers that are going to go into the core of the base, typically have a jump leading them straight into where you want them to go. And then you're going to use the Rages either for the Queen on the Queen Walk if you choose to do that, or you can use them on your witches as they come through the core of the base. With this type of style of attack, what you're looking for basically is where is the placement of the air defenses, kind of the other stuff that could trick up most of the other attacks that you would have. You're not going to be as worried about because the witches going down the outside, if something comes out of the clan castle, can handle those. But the thing is you want the healers to stay on the witches. So the biggest thing you're looking for is the placement of the air defenses. Can you take them out with your core group pushing through? Are they able to snag them all? Or is there one that's going to be hanging back that could pick off the healers? So that way your witches will then eventually die off because the outside point defenses, or if they hit a splash damage like a wizard tower, are they going to take out the Larrys and then have your witches standing there? But as you can see on this one, Bugsy comes through. His queen survives to the end because there wasn't a ton of point defense on the top side. And then the witches are still standing there with a ton of them left in the end. Healers on them, and there's not much left for this base to do. So that is what you are looking for, is how to get the witches down the sides of the base and trim very easily. Next up, we are going to take a look at GoBoHo. Now, this is a very popular strategy, again, in the game right now. Since they got rid of the double giant bomb sets, hogs have been ripping up through the game. On this particular one, we have had a lot of success with bringing 3 tanks or golems on this one. If you can, try to figure out how to wall break in the first wall, or this will be on your typical scout if you are going to wall break in or jump the first walls. But what you want to do is get those first 2 golems down, get some wizards down behind those, so that way they create a nice large wide funnel. And then once that funnel is created, you're either going to jump in, wall breaker in, however you need to get into the base, and then come in with a 3rd golem, the bowlers out of the clan castle, and then your Barb King behind that. You want the Barb King to come in last, so that way if the clan castle comes out and it's a baby dragon or a dragon, balloons, something like that, it's not going to take out the Barb King, because the role of the Barb King is to get in there and take out that queen. Now, the 3 golems are going to be there, so that way there's plenty of tanking for the bowlers, because the bowlers underneath Rage and the core of the base will do a good amount of damage, typically taking out 50% or more of the base, and then that will leave the backside of the base just for the hogs. Depending on how many jumps you are going to take, you can either have 1 to 2 heals for your hogs, but usually the last probably 25 to 40% of the base will be for hog cleanup. And so that is something you're going to want to look for as well on this style of attack, is if you can come across the base with the golems, get some solid tanking, and you need to get that clan castle and that queen taken out. Those are the 2 things that can pretty much stop a hog attack dead in the water. If that clan castle comes out and it's something that can do damage to hogs, baby dragons, do splash damage to Valkyries, they will rip apart your hogs. And then if you do not take out that queen, she will eat up your hogs as well. Now we're going to take a look at Queen Pop. This is a strategy. It was kind of in the game for a little bit, disappeared, but it is still a very viable attack if you can do it right. You'll see on this one, Wolverine, he's going to start off with a little queen walk action, get his queen to come down, take out a lot of the trash on the bottom side. He's going to use a few minions as well to help push her along, get some wizards. They're going to take out some of those non-essential buildings that are easy just to pick off. and then his queen is going to be able to step up and take out some of these point defenses before she gets into that court where that Barb King is and takes on that clan castle and the additional point defenses. As you can see on this one, he has 4 rages, so he will have the ability to use those to help his queen stay up. And then he's just going to sneak in that Barb King so that he will tank as well. Get those wizards in there, and they're going to help take care of some of that trash as well, so that way the Barb King and Queen can just continue on their walk. He's going to be able to get all the splash damage on the bottom side of this base. And then as you can see on the top side, the Queen is standing right in the middle of all 4 air defenses. So the idea of Queen Pop is that you want your Lava Hounds, when they come in, you're going to have rages down typically for your balloons and your hounds to get them in there. So when those hounds start to pop, the lava pups are going to rage up, and that queen will be stuck shooting possibly the other hound, maybe a balloon, whatever's standing around here. But usually the lava pups, since they are raged, they're all going to pop right on top of that queen, and as soon as she shoots one of the other troops, they will all aggro right to her, and they're going to drop that queen really fast. And on this base, since all of the air defenses are relatively close to each other, he's able to drop 1, 2 rages, and then his balloons are able to take out all of those air defenses. As you can see now, he's got the max hound coming out of the clan castle first, and then he has a second hound going right in there, and he's got the balloons following him right behind with a few minions to help on that cleanup. Gets that first rage down, but he's already got some of those lava pups up, and he's coming in. He's got a third hound, I believe, that goes in there. But as you can see, that queen now has raged lava pups on her while she's preoccupied with the other troops, and she goes down extremely fast. And then he has the balloons just coming in, taking out the remaining buildings, and then he just overwhelms that last air defense with the minions and lava pups that he has. And at this point, he just pops the queen ability to get the rest done. So for a queen pop, you're looking for the ability to have all of your hounds pop relatively close to that queen, and then be able to take her out with one of the rage spells you have down to move your balloons through the base. Alright, next up we are going to take a look at dragons. Dragons are an extremely underrated troop at Town Hall 9, but they can do a ton of damage. Some of the things you are looking for is to be able to take care of all of the air defenses, whether it's like this one where you are going to use lightning spells to take care of a group, and then have a kill squad go in and take care of a few other ones. Sometimes you'll see no-fly zone bases. This is where all the air defenses are relatively close to each other, like the previous one we saw. And if you have a kill squad go in, be able to take out all the air defenses, and then have dragons just clean up the backside of the base. But on this one particularly, you're able to do Zap Quake, and then there is a ton of point defense on the bottom side. So having the healers on the golem will keep up that golem easier and not force a rage spell to have to use to keep that up like it would for the queen. If you don't know, healers will do full healing to troops, but they will only do 50% to heroes, and that gives long enough time for that golem to stay up, so that way the Barb King and Queen can clean out the bottom side of this base. Now, some of the things that can stop dragons dead in the water are seeking air mines. They will nearly take out almost a full dragon's health, so bringing a couple balloons is a very good option. So that way, if you can get them to go in, not only are they going to target some of the defenses that are hitting the dragons, but they will actually soak up the traps, acting like a hound. It is a whole lot better to lose a single loon to a seeking air mine than to have a dragon get hit by it. So if you have those balloons kind of come in with the dragons on this one, they take out a couple of those traps, and they're also able to help take out some of the point defenses that are targeting those dragons in the beginning while they're working through getting through those high hit point buildings. The other thing is the queen. Sometimes you can use a rage spell on your dragons to get through the queen, but a group of dragons will easily be able to deal with that queen and take her out before she can do too much damage. Now, one of the things when you're going to make this composition, anything below 5 dragons, unless if you're going to have a kill squad take out a huge portion of the base, is not worth it. So you're usually looking to have 5 to 7 dragons in that composition, which doesn't leave you a lot of space for everything else. So plan accordingly for that. Next up, we are going to take a look at a mass hog attack. These ones are very rare as well, but they can be extremely powerful. If you have access to a queen on the outside of the base, and if you know previously that the clan castle is maybe a hound, and you cannot lure out the clan castle, or if you can find a way to deal with it and take it out, Mass Hog is extremely effective. That's where you're going to be coming in with pretty much over 25 hogs. On this one, he has 31 hogs. But the clan castle comes out. He's able to get that queen, get the poisons down to take care of that clan castle. And then he's going to just basically have heal spells throughout the whole base and all of his hogs. He will just keep feeding him through this base. Maverick does very good at bringing them in. Starts them off a little bit high. I think he was trying to get them to go into that expo, but the Barb King and Queen are able to take care of those expos, and then they just leave the remaining L shape of the base left for the hogs, and he's able to just load up on this first compartment here, and then just start coming in with additional hogs as he works around the base. He has 3 more heal spells though, and he's basically just going to use them where the splash is. So if you can see a base where it's easy to take out the Queen, and you don't have to really use any spells, because like I said, the Queen and the clan castle can stop dragons dead, or not dragons, hogs dead in the water. So if you're able to deal with those 2 issues, or like I said, if there's a hound in the clan castle where you're able to just basically ignore it, knowing that the hound is not going to be able to do a ton of damage to your hogs, then this could be a very strong attack for you. So it's something to look out for. Like I said, it's not one of the most common attacks in the game. But there are scenarios where this attack does arise, and it can be very good when you can just sit there and basically drop heal spells and have your hogs walk through the base and not really have to plan too hard for it. Like I said, since those double giant bombs are no longer an issue for hogs, they are able to just basically walk through, and as long as you can have them underneath a heal, they pretty much go almost invincible, unless there's an area loaded up with some spring traps and a ton of DPS. That's really the only way to kind of stop a big group of hogs. But as you can see on this one, he still has plenty of hogs. His heroes actually end up making it, or his queen makes it through the raid and helps with the cleanup. So like I said, if you can deal with that queen pretty easily right off the start, or get rid of her, that clan castle if you need to, or if you can ignore it, take a look at Mass Hog and just keep those bad boys with heal spells on them and keep them up throughout the whole base. The last one is going to be the old classic. A lot of people are saying right now, after the most recent update, that balloons are slower, they're moving around, they're not as good, they've been nerfed. We have noticed a little bit of a few things with them, but GoBoLaloon is not dead. This is an extremely strong attack, kind of piggybacks off the idea of the GoBoHo. They are kind of similar, where you're going to come in with a kill squad, take out the clan castle, take out the queen, and then look to take out a couple air defenses. Typical rule of thumb is however many golems you are going to take is how many air defenses you want to take out. That was kind of the old rule of thumb for it, and it still kind of suffices today. With the clan castle coming out and having bowlers, you're able to get a whole lot more bang for your buck out of that and take out a good portion of the base, only leaving a small portion usually for the Laloon. But as you can see on this one, he's going to come in, get that queen, 2 air defenses, that clan castle taken care of, and then he's just going to start using his golems and his Barb King on that bottom side to tank a little bit to get a few of those point defenses out. And then he does something very smart here. This is one of the things you want to do as well. Always lead, if you can, with your balloons, and most people won't say that, but your balloons travel slower. So if you have your hounds and you drop them first, they're going to get, since they move a whole lot quicker, over to those air defenses faster than your balloons will. But if you lead with your balloons and then learn to drop your hounds so that way they get right in front of your balloons before they get into the range of the point defenses, you're going to have your hounds last a couple more seconds on this one. On this one, if you would have dropped the hounds first and then came in with the balloons, this air defense on the backside most likely would have taken care of those hounds a whole lot faster, and then his balloons, by the time they got there, would have had nothing for them. But since he was able to come in with the balloons first on the top side and then lead with the hounds and have them step forward in front of the balloons before they got in range of those point defenses, his hounds were able to get a few additional seconds and then last longer in the raid, so that way he had the balloons in the end to do all of the cleanup. That Barb King ends up staying up all the way through and helps with that cleanup. So that's what you're looking for the GoBoLaloon, is if you can get the Queen, Clan Castle, and then a couple air defenses, and then have an easy Laloon for the backside. But that's going to be 6 attacks for you guys. A quick overview of all of them. If you guys have any questions, comments, feel free to check out some of my other videos. I have additional guides on some of these attacks. Leave any comments down in the bottom. I will try to answer them. But until next time, guys, this is Trunks helping you stay over 9,000.